You know that feeling when their name lights up your phone and your entire body changes? Your heart speeds up, your breathing gets shallow, and suddenly everything else in the room fades into background noise. And then you realize it's not them at all, just someone with a similar name, and you feel that sinking disappointment wash through your chest like cold water. You've been checking your phone more than usual lately. Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it. Your hand just reaches for it automatically, hoping for something, anything, that connects you to them. It's exhausting, isn't it? This constant state of waiting, of hoping, of replaying conversations in your mind and analyzing every word they said, searching for hidden meanings that probably aren't even there. Here's what's actually happening in your brain when you can't stop thinking about someone. Your nervous system has learned to associate this person with emotional intensity, and intensity feels a lot like intimacy when you're lonely or uncertain about your own worth. Every time you think about them, every time you check their social media or reread old messages, you're giving yourself a small hit of dopamine. It's the same neurochemical that's involved in addiction, and your brain starts to crave it. The longing itself becomes familiar, almost comfortable, because at least it's something to feel. At least it makes you feel alive. But there's something deeper happening here, too. This obsession, this inability to let them drift into the background of your thoughts, it's probably not really about them at all. Think back to the first time you felt invisible. Maybe it was a parent who was physically present but emotionally absent. Maybe it was the first time you tried to share something that mattered to you, and the person you trusted most looked right through you like you weren't there. Somewhere in your history, you learned that love means yearning, that connection means chasing, that being wanted is something you have to earn through perfect behavior, or constant availability, or making yourself smaller so someone else feels bigger. And now here you are, pouring all of that old hunger into this one person who may not even know the weight they're carrying for you. You've made them into something they never asked to be, a solution, a salvation, the one person who could finally make you feel whole if they would just see you the way you see them. But the version of them that lives in your mind, the one you've built from fragments of real moments and long stretches of imagination, that person doesn't exist. You're in love with potential, with the ghost of what could be if only 100 different things were different. You've taken the 5% of them that you actually know and constructed an entire person around it, filling in all the gaps with exactly what you need them to be. This is what obsession does. It takes a real human being with flaws and fears and their own unhealed wounds, and it turns them into a fantasy. And the cruelest part is that the fantasy is always better than reality could ever be, because the fantasy is designed specifically for you, by you, to fill exactly the shape of your emptiness. When you're honest with yourself, in those quiet moments late at night when your defenses are down, you might realize that you don't actually want them. What you want is to stop feeling this way. You want the relief of being chosen, the validation of being wanted, the proof that you're worth someone's full attention and care. But here's the truth that might sting a little. No other person can give you that. Not really. Not in a way that lasts. Because if your sense of worth is built on someone else's perception of you, then you're standing on foundation that could crumble any moment. Their interest could fade, their attention could shift, their own wounds could make them pull away, and then where does that leave you? Right back in that familiar ache of not being enough. Your nervous system is trying to resolve something old by recreating it in the present. It's looking for a different ending to a story that started long before you ever met this person. And the pattern will keep repeating until you turn toward yourself with the same intensity you've been directing outward. This isn't about forcing yourself to stop caring or pretending you don't feel what you feel. It's about getting curious about why this particular person has such a hold on you. What do they represent? What are you hoping they'll heal? What would it mean about you if they never chose you back? The path forward isn't dramatic. There's no single moment of breakthrough where everything suddenly makes sense and you're free. It's quieter than that. It starts with noticing when you're reaching for your phone to check on them and asking yourself what you're really hungry for in that moment. Connection? Distraction? Proof that you matter? And then finding a way to give yourself even a small portion of that without involving them at all. It continues with slowly, gently beginning to redirect the energy you've been spending on them back toward your own life. Not because you're giving up or moving on, but because you're coming home to yourself. You're allowed to still care about them while also caring about your own peace. You're allowed to wish things were different while also accepting what's true right now. And the truth is that you are whole already, even though it doesn't feel that way. The emptiness you feel isn't because they're not in your life the way you want them to be. It was there before them, and it'll be there after if you don't learn to fill it yourself with self-compassion, with patience, with a gradual understanding that your worth was never up for debate. You don't become worthy by being chosen. You simply are, quietly and completely, whether anyone sees it or not.